Hi, welcome to Expanding the Conversation. I'm Jaime B. Hansen. We have a great guest today in Katerina Schneider. She's going to tell us all about her company Ritual and how she's disrupting the pharmaceutical industry.
So I started Ritual because I was really concerned about the quality of ingredients that I was putting in and on my body when I was pregnant.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I looked at the vitamins that I was taking every day and realized that some of those same questionable ingredients that I was trying to avoid throughout the house were in the vitamins that I was taking every day.
Which is insane.
Yeah.
You're actually putting it in your body.
And I'm ingesting it every day. And just assuming that vitamins are vitamins and they're all the same and they're healthy and it turns out they're not. And I was frightened at first. You know, I knew nothing about this industry. How could I create a product that people were going to ingest? How do I do it in the best way? How do I impact people's health in a positive way?
Yeah.
And for me, I'm such a perfectionist, so I started with one product and tried to create the best possible product in that category.
Okay.
And that's what we did.
And the product is a multivitamin for women specifically.
Yeah, so you know, my personal history with vitamins started out with prenatals, but we wanted to start with something that was going to impact as many women as possible.
Sure.
And so it turns out that most women take multivitamins because, you know, our diets aren't perfect.
Yeah.
We're not getting everything we need from the food we eat, and that's also changing over time. And it turned out that most multivitamins were formulated with data from 1968.
That's crazy.
And they had 20 to 40 ingredients in them that most of them we're already getting from the foods that we eat. We're not deficient in.
Yeah.
So I partnered with one of the leading scientists in the industry. He was the head of research at Schiff, and now he's our VP of R&D and PhD in biochemistry, and asked him this question of, what is it that we're not getting enough of every single day with our diets? And it turned out there were 9 essential nutrients. Most of them were not in a typical multivitamin, and the forms were definitely not in a typical multivitamin. And so we found the best forms of those nutrients from all over the world. What we have is direct relationships with each one of our suppliers, and we highlight that on our site, and that's kind of the beauty of e-commerce.
Yeah.
So we've created the first fully traceable vitamin out there.
Not to sound silly, like this doesn't seem that hard. Like, I mean, if they haven't updated it since the 60s, you're saying, like, we have the technology to figure out what vitamins, what nutrients, I guess, we need. Mm-hmm. Why haven't these pharmaceuticals updated the vitamins? Like,
it's like actually interesting because, you know, you have companies that have been around for dozens of years.
Yes.
You know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's a lot of work to update a formulation, you know, on the marketing side, on every angle, and then tell your consumers that the formula is different. The interesting thing is, it's the daily values that haven't changed since 1968, which is on the label.
Yeah.
And actually, this is the first year since then companies are required to change them. So that's really exciting.
That's really exciting. Yeah. And partly because of this, like Ritual sort of
I don't
pushing
think
the
it's
envelope?
because of us, but you know, we want everyone to be doing the right thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's getting attention,
it's
right?
getting
Like
attention.
it's pushing it out there.
Yeah, it's pushing out there. I think consumers really want to know what they're putting in and on their bodies, whether it's the food they eat or the vitamins they're taking.
And it never occurred to me to think, what's in the medicine? Like, it was like, okay, even over the counter, yeah, good to go. I trust the pharmacy, I trust my doctor. But do you think that that's changing now?
I think people have been cobbling together their own, you know, vitamin rituals, and they've been doing it for quite a while without much research. And it turns out there is a lot of research on certain nutrients. There's very little research on others. You know, you're taking certain herbs that your chiropractor told you to take, or you're seeing them at Whole Foods, and you're putting together this concoction that might actually not be good for your body. There's a lot of wrong ideas in the space, and
you're changing it.
I think we're changing it. We're very research driven. We're not about health fads or trends, or, you know, people always ask me what's the latest and greatest trend for this year, and for us it's like going back to the basics. We think and we know that people are starting to feel great just kind of filling their nutritional gaps.
So you're almost stripping out the unnecessary things too.
Exactly.
I also know you for many years now, and you're I see you as, obviously you're brilliant, but you're sort of a free spirit brilliance, right? You're very organic in every sense of the word. You're very true to who you are. You don't act like the typical pharmaceutical dynamo that we think of, right? Do you see that? Do you see a difference? Do you feel different in this industry?
Yeah, I feel a difference. You know, I used to go to tech conferences and I felt kind of out of place as well. And now I go to supply conferences in the nutraceutical industry and I feel even more out of place than I felt in kind of the entrepreneurial tech realm.
Yeah. Do you see it as an advantage?
I think it's an advantage possibly on the consumer side. I think what's interesting is right now we've created a product for women.
Yeah.
And the way we're speaking to women is so different than any other company in this industry has spoke to women before.
How so? You're not talking down to them.
We're not talking down to them,
Yeah.
we are them. You know,
Yeah.
I am the girl that we're marketing toward.
You're the guinea pig.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I look at an ad or a photograph of the pill or the product or the packaging, it's what I want.
Yeah.
I'm so numb to advertising and especially advertising in this space.
Yeah.
So we're just being honest, and I think having women at the top of our company on the marketing side and also on the scientific side and creating a product for women by women is super important.
You're in tune to that.
Yeah.
Well, and that, I mean, sort of that goes along with empathy, right? Empathy isn't just compassion, it's listening, right?
Yeah.
It's hearing what the other side is saying and reacting to that in kind, right?
And so
You're disrupting an industry.
We're disrupting an industry. And so
Yeah, it's really
and
cool.
then when you look at our pill, it's beautiful and looks like tiny little snow globes,
Yeah.
which actually serves a function. But it's kind of a melting point of a lot of different things, and I think that's what's catching everyone's attention.
Yeah.
It's rare that you have science and art kind of meet in one place.
You're designing your own life.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah, it's
Well,
awesome.
congratulations. I can't wait to see where it all goes. And thank you so much for being with us today.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks.